Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1515. 1515. I am Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley-Mont. And I just did something really annoying. And Kevin's going to go, there he goes, saying the amount of... He just pulls out a random number, doesn't he? No, seriously, it is 1515.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's how many episodes I've done, and you can go back on the website and see them all. And if I'm missing one,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm sure I've got it in storage somewhere on this hard drive. And if I don't, then am I really alive, or is life what we would call a fantasy? Alda Nova sang a song about that. You should see the video. He shoots this door with a laser coming out of his guitar.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Life is just a fantasy. And I wanted to sing that to you because
Mike's
I realize now
Daily
that I left
Podcast
in the studio my notes from my last show. Now, in radio, everybody uses the same office, basically. We all come in and out of this one studio, and I was using this studio for the show. I mean, I'm at Cafe Anyway, is what I'm saying.
Anyway.
Cafe Anyway.
Is you blind?
It's a great place, and you should open your eyes and see it, because that's where you are, in your mind's eye. Cafe Anyway. Look who just walked in, as a matter of fact. Hi, Mark! It's Benita the Rodeo Queen! How y'all doing? And I got my horse standing.
That's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what. What were the notes that you left, Mike?
They had to do with Roy Moore. I wrote down the quote he had, that today we no longer recognize the universal truth, look who else walked in, that God is the author of our own life and liberty. Abortion, sodomy, and materialism have taken the place of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That quote just blows my mind. Anyway, I accidentally left it in the studio. So I guess all the people that were here over the weekend saw this quote from Roy Moore. And maybe they should, because it's just crazy how nuts this guy almost became an elected official. Well, he was a judge for a while, but good God, he could have been a senator. Ugh.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I talked to my mom on Friday, and she's very Republican, and she loves Trump, and she goes, I feel bad that Roy Moore didn't get elected. And I said to her, really? Do you really know about Roy Moore? And she goes, no, I just know he's a Republican. Oh, Mom. Oh, please. And I had to educate her, which she was willing to listen to her son, so that's good. The podcast picture today is a drawing with someone else who has just walked into Cafe Anyway today. Hey, Mike, this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Where's Valentino? He's not here. Oh, I feel a little out of sorts. I don't know what to say. Do you know that? You sound a little like Cyndi Lauper. I know, because I see your true colors shining through. Do you know that? I actually like the girls just want to have fun. Overplayed. Okay. Or the other one she did. I drove all night to get to you. Don't know that one. Do you know that? I do know that. That's why I was singing that. Okay, thank you, Bison Bentley. So he is here today for the podcast picture. You can see that picture now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-1515-Serious. By the way, Anna Edgerton of Bloomberg is on C-SPAN right now, and she's lovely. But her serious face, you know how... like, my serious face is horrendous. If you see my serious face, run! It's not good. It's very... I don't know. It'll just put you out of sorts. Right. It's just not nice. My serious face. My happy face, my smiley face, it will light up the world for all to see. And people will walk around and dance, and they'll be jumping up and down. And
this is a fine-tuned machine.
My face is, yes. So that's what it is. It's my money face.
Show me the money!
So my face is great when I'm smiling, but when I'm serious face, it's horrendous, it's scary. And that's how life is as you age. Your serious face, I think it becomes so because it becomes more serious because, well, people need to take you seriously. Hey, what's going on in the world?
Planning board approving plans over the weekend. The company announced last year that they'd be staying in the county after being offered a $60 million incentive package.
Who?
Railroad giant CSX Corp losing its CEO,
What?
Hunter Harrison, passing away at the age of 73 years old on Saturday. Fell sharply.
That's a train
Announced
company.
He'd be taking a leave of absence due to his health issues. With the Fox Business Report,
Oh, thank you, Jenny Casola. That's so Italian. Oh, Casola. Oh, what a beautiful last name. That is Italian. It sounds Italian to me. I want to have that last name. Mike Matthews is so boring. I also left my notes in here about Sylvia and the apps, about how apps don't fit on my phone anymore. There's not enough room, even though I have an extra memory disk. I think it was funny the last show I couldn't remember the name of memory disk. Nobody else thought that was funny? Memory disk? Something? So there's a guy I produced a morning show for, and he had a comedian come on. And the comedian is very gracious. He laughs at anything. I've noticed this about a lot of comedians. Really well-known comedians will laugh at you. Will laugh at any stupid thing you say, even if you're not a comedian. You know, if you're just a civilian like me, and you try and, fumble your way towards a funny, the comedian will laugh. And I think it's because comedians that do this for a living, and it's a hard life. It's a hard life, and it sounds like a Annie song. And I'm not talking about that Annie song called oh crap, I can't think of how John Denver's Annie song go. Dang. Well, that's really unfortunate. But my point being that they live a hard life. So I think they like to laugh. Comedians like to laugh, and they like to acknowledge the funny because it helps them find the funny in their own their lives, their livelihood. They have to get to the funny. Oh, why is the keyboard way over here and I have to go and type it in? So, how does that Annie song go? Oh, you fill up my senses. You fill up my senses. Okay, enough of that. That's what the Annie song is. Oh, gosh. So I used to date, this was years ago when I was good looking. I used to date this woman who was 10 years older than me because, I liked the older women then. And this woman loved John Denver. And she would play this. She had a guitar, and she would play it for me. And, I really didn't want to see that because she was not the best singer. It was bad. Hey, if someone's going to sing for you, at least they should have a nice voice. Oh, but Mike, it's the effort. They get an A for effort. It's the thought that counts. So the thought that counted in the situation with the person that apparently I upset on Twitter because I did not really need their or appreciate or accept. I didn't really accept their advice because their advice was, Mike, you need to do a podcast once a week because research shows from the company, I guess, that he works for, that podcasts that come out once a week get way more downloads than ones that are posted every day. And I said, well, I've built it into the sauce. The name of the show is Mike's Daily Podcast. It's daily. That's the name of the domain name I have. I can't really do that. I mentioned that on my podcast. And he heard that and said, oh, well, I guess I'll never give you advice again. The baby with the bathwater scenario that I was talking about. And can I just have one little quick baby cry? Oh! We'll send that out to the very beautiful baby that I saw, little 7-month-old Olivia over the weekend. So cute. Oh, gosh. I got a picture with her. Such a cute little baby. Big smiles the whole time. I had my dog there, Basil the boxer. Oh, such a fun weekend. And let me tell you, taking a day off was nice. So maybe I will take the advice of maybe doing one less Mike's Daily Podcast. I may not do the Super Secret Sunday show anymore. It'll depend on how busy I get on Sundays, because I usually do the show from my weekend job, and it will be nice once in a while to just take that day off. So I'm going to do that. Oh, hey, I heard this morning on NPR as I was driving in. So the app that you get, this new app, is this really super duper app. I know that's a late 40s-year-old guy trying to do a really high-pitched girl voice. This girl had the highest voice. I know I have this thing about girls with really high voices. Sometimes I don't even care, but NPR does this thing where if you hear a girl talking about apps, she'll go, yeah, this new app is really important, and you can find out more about it on my podcast. NPR is always pushing these podcasts. What's the name of her podcast? It's called Apps Are Great. Apps are appetizing. That's what I guess you would call that podcast name. What app was she talking about? Was she possibly talking about the Taylor Swift app? The wait is over. Taylor Swift, who is 28 now.
Are you crazy?
28. Wow. Where did the time go? I remember when she was an infant. And now, so much older. Time goes by so slowly. And time can do so much. Are you still mine? Need your love. Hey, so I don't know if she ever sang that song, but Taylor Swift announced the launch of her new app called The Swift Life via Instagram. I follow her on Instagram, but I took the Instagram app off my phone because it took up so much friggin' space, and I found this app that I can do all the posting from a desktop computer. So I said, screw you, Instagram. But she said, look what you made me do. She said she was celebrating her app drop by cuddling her famous cat that's named after Mariska Hargitay's character on Law and Order. Well, a preview of her new emoji icons show. I'm not reading any more of this because I'm seeing words like Tay-mojis, and I just don't understand what. I guess because I'm friggin' old. Oh, she's got a relationship with Joe Alwyn. He's a British actor that no one's ever heard of, and they were spotted together at Capital FM Jingle Bell Ball in London, December 10th. And they look like they were happy because they're both... Oh, wow, she's going after younger men now. Damn. The app offers fans a feature called Swift Sends to use when sending messages or commenting on posts to up the chances that she'll actually read and like them herself. A part of me just died reading that, and I apologize, but good God, that's horrible. And like I said, last show, apps are... I'm developing an app. Well, you know what? That's great. I'm never going to download it. Thanks. I don't have room. I don't have space. Oh, but Mike, the new iPhone's got all this extra space. Yeah, well, I don't have that $1,000 to pay for it, so screw you. And I guess it's I meant that in a nice way. No, I meant that in a mean, vindictive way, full of vice. No, I'm going to use apps that are out there. I'm going to use apps that came with the phone. I'm using Google Play to listen to my the podcasts and it's working fine. It's working great. If you have an iPhone, you can listen to podcasts through. Every iPhone now has a podcast app already. You don't have to download Stitcher. You don't have to download TuneIn. You don't have to download any of that stuff. Just it comes with the phone. So enough with the apps. I think we have gotten overloaded with the app downloads. So, here's one thing. Here's an app that comes with your phone. The texting, every phone has a texting app on it already built in, or you can download a new text. I think that WhatsApp thing lets you do it, and a lot of other, I guess this Taylor Swift thing lets you do it too. But here's what I'm saying is, don't be a rude texter. So many people are rude texters. I know that in texting world, in texting land with your emojis and whatnot, brevity is the soul of wit. You got to get it out there in really quick, in a short amount of words. Sometimes you're doing something else, you don't have the time. Texting basically is when you don't have the time for calling, or you're too shy or lazy to call someone. But why are people so rude when they text? People just send me these. There's one guy, I stopped talking to him completely because his texts to me are the most unbelievably rude pieces of crap. He only texts me when he needs something, and I don't. You know what? I'm done talking. Send me a nice text. Send me a picture. I think we need to work on our texting. The Textiquette is gone by the wayside, and we need to be kinder people as we text. Hey, there's an article on the Daily Beast about the rise of women in Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my confidence daily. Sicily's mafia. It took more than 200 armed cops, 5 specialized canine units, and twin helicopters to ensure that the latest powerful boss within the Sicilian mafia didn't get away. But the Don wasn't the usual suspect. In fact, she wasn't a Don at all. She was a Donna. Italian for woman. Would that be Donna? No, that doesn't look like that's right. Is her last name that name I mentioned earlier that I really liked? Casola. That's right. Okay, well, she's my age, 49, and her name is Maria Angela Di Trappini, the wife of Sicilian mafia kingpin Salvatore Salvino of Ice Madonna, was arrested last week after it emerged that she was in charge of reorganizing the Sicilian Cosa Nostra after the death of longtime boss Toto Riina in prison last month. Well, I fumbled nicely through all those Italian words, Italian names. Let's go to one that's a little less Italian. How about Palin? That name, Palin, is so pale. Well, Track Palin, the oldest son of former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin. Oh, you darn tootin'. You betcha. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sarah Palin.
You darn tootin'.
Well, I guess Track was arrested on Saturday in Alaska on charges of domestic violence. It marks the second time he's been arrested on suspicion of domestic violence in 2 years. Track, who's 28, same age as Taylor Swift if you're keeping track, was arraigned on Sunday morning on 3 counts: felony burglary, misdemeanor reckless assault, and misdemeanor criminal mischief for causing up to $500 in property damage. Further details were not immediately available. It says here, deer leap to their deaths, stunning motorists. You know, what's happening is the deer are afraid, and they try any way to get out of something, and what they'll do is they'll jump over a bridge. They don't know. They jumped into my car once. I think that was last year. Left a big dent. Hey, thanks, deer. But they're scared. So just frickin', when you see deer on the road, slow down. Don't slam on... Well, you might have to slam on the brakes. But just be careful. Donald Trump is privately striking a less agitated tone on the Russia investigation, sources say, even insisting he'll soon be cleared in writing. No collusion, he says, but his new approach has some allies worrying he's not taking the threat of the probe seriously enough. He spent much of his first year in office so enraged by the federal investigation into Russian meddling and last year's election, lawmakers who work with him tried to avoid the entire issue, and his friends worry that Trump might rashly fire the special counsel. But in recent weeks, he has privately seemed less frustrated about the investigation, according to multiple sources who have spoken with the president, and this was from CNN. So, we shall see what happens this week. And that's the show. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Next show, it's going to be Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Enjoy your week and have, some fun today. That's what I suggest.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!